The radio operator at the SEAL forward base froze mid-sentence. A faint ping echoed through his headset, a signal so old it shouldn't exist anymore. He turned slowly toward his commanding officer. "Sir, you need to hear this." Commander Rains leaned over the console, his eyes narrowing. "That's a military distress code." "Whose channel is that?" The operator hesitated, fingers trembling over the keys. It's coming from Echo Unit." "But, sir, Echo Unit was wiped 3 weeks ago." The pilot's Kia confirmed. Silence fell over the room. The name attached to that signal appeared on the screen, Lieutenant Commander Ava Hart, USAF exchange pilot, attached to SEAL Team 9. Officially dead, her body had been recovered, or so everyone believed. "Trace it," Rains ordered sharply. Now, the tech worked frantically, the old signal flickering like a heartbeat in the static. "It's weak. Deep Canyon region, 30 miles north of the crash site. Beacon frequency is authentic, sir, old A10 distress code, Type 3 encryption." Rains straightened, his mind racing. Only one person could still activate that code, the pilot herself. "Gear up," he barked. "If she's alive, we're bringing her home." Within minutes, a Black Hawk lifted off the tarmac, blades slicing through the midnight sky. Inside, the SEALs checked their weapons in silence. Hart had been one of them, an outsider at first, until she flew through enemy fire to pull their team out of a kill zone. When her A-10 went down, they'd buried what was left of her wreckage. No one questioned the report. "Until now. Could be an ambush," muttered one of the SEALs. Rains nodded grimly, or a ghost calling for help. As they neared the coordinates, the radio crackled again, this time clearer. A faint, shaky voice came through, half buried in static. "Mayday, this is Valkyrie, if anyone's receiving, enemy patrols in sector, need extraction, over." Every man on board froze. That call sign, Valkyrie, was hers. Rains grabbed the mic. "Valkyrie, this is Raptor 1. Confirm your position." A pause. Then, a soft, exhausted laugh. "You're late, Commander." The cabin filled with stunned silence. One of the SEALs whispered, "It's her. It's really her." The Black Hawk descended through smoke and dust into a ravaged canyon. Below, a lone figure stood near the wreckage of an A-10, armor scorched, helmet cracked, blood caked on her arm, but she was alive. She raised a flare as the chopper hovered, the red glow lighting her battle-worn face. Rains stepped out first, his boots hitting the dirt. "We buried you," he said quietly, disbelief in his voice. Hart gave a faint smile. "Guess someone made a mistake." The SEALs stared in awe as she limped toward them, her survival beyond logic or luck. Behind her, the faint hum of approaching enemy vehicles echoed through the valley. "Talk later," she said, loading her rifle. "We've got company." And just like that, Valkyrie was back in the fight. The roar of approaching engines thundered through the canyon walls. Dust plumed from the ridge line as enemy trucks and motorcycles advanced, headlights cutting through the darkness like spears of white fire. Rains spun toward Hart. "How many?" She glanced through her cracked visor. "2 platoons, maybe more. They've been hunting me since I crawled out of that wreck." "You survived 3 weeks out here alone," one of the SEALs muttered in disbelief. Hart smirked weakly. "Didn't have much of a choice." She pulled a battered sidearm from her holster, chambered around with a metallic snap, and nodded toward a half-buried weapons crate beside the wreckage. "I cached what I could salvage. Ammo's dry, but there's a few surprises left." The SEALs moved fast, setting up defensive positions, planting charges, and calibrating. Scopes in the narrow canyon where the A-10 had fallen. The sky above glowed faintly red from burning wreckage, and somewhere in the distance, a wolf howled. "Raptor 1 to base," Rains barked into his headset. "We've got contact incoming. Send QRF and medevac. Coordinates transmitting now. Static. No response." "They're jamming us," Hart said, her tone calm but her eyes sharp. "They've got field interceptors. We're cut off." Rains clenched his jaw. "Then we hold the line." The first wave came fast, pickup trucks loaded with armed fighters spilling over the ridge, rifles blazing. Muzzle flashes strobed across the canyon. The SEALs opened fire in disciplined bursts, cutting down the lead vehicles before they could close the gap. Hart grabbed a dropped rifle, rolled behind a rock, and fired a precise 3-round burst that ignited an enemy's fuel tank. The explosion rocked the canyon, heat washing over them. "Still sharp, Valkyrie," Rains shouted over the chaos. She reloaded. 3 weeks without coffee. I'm cranky." Enemy mortars began pounding their position, dirt and shrapnel raining down. A fragment sliced across Hart's cheek, drawing blood. She wiped it away, unfazed, and activated a small device strapped to her wrist. "What's that?" a seal asked. "Insurance." A low-frequency hum built in the distance. Then, out of the clouds, a secondary beacon pulsed, a signal she'd rigged to call home one last favor. Moments later, a pair of drone-controlled A-10s roared overhead, guided remotely by the coordinates she'd secretly uploaded days ago. The seals ducked as the sky erupted. The drones unleashed precision strikes, shredding enemy positions and lighting up the valley in blinding arcs of fire. Rains turned toward her as smoke and debris settled. "You planned this." Hart winced as she sank to one knee, exhaustion finally catching up. "Let's just say, I didn't stay dead for nothing." He caught her before she fell. The valley was silent again, save for the crackle of burning metal. Reinforcements were minutes away, but Rains didn't move. He just stared at the woman they'd buried 3 weeks ago, alive against every odd. "Welcome back, Valkyrie," he said softly. Her lips curved faintly. "Told you I'd finish the mission."